Welcome back to Tech Talk with Craig Peterson. We're talking about some of the latest technologies. In fact, there is a guest on today that you might have heard that has a whole movie about what's happening with YouTube. Basically, the YouTube revolution, the people that are making, thousands of people, in fact, that are making six-figure salaries from that. Well, that should tell you something. It should tell you about the value of video. It is huge value. So we have asked here Brian Arrowood to be with us. He is with a company called StreamVU. You'll find them at StreamVU.com. That's Stream, StreamVU.com. So we're going to talk a little bit about how they are making it so that anybody, all-inclusive here, can go ahead and take their content, whether it's a live event, and primarily that's what they aim at here, upload and distribute them, and create channels as well for distribution to any number of viewers. So no longer are you stuck with the restrictions that YouTube places on you. No longer are you stuck trying to figure everything out and doing all of the production, all of the hard stuff, frankly, that has to be done when it comes to video. So whether it's a school play, a wedding, spiritual event, all the way on up through corporations and things that you might want to do for your business, StreamVU is there. Brian, welcome to Tech Talk with Craig Peterson.
Thank you, Craig. Glad to be here.
So this is a really, really big deal, and I'm not sure most people are aware of it, but video is really, it's where it's at.
It is. In fact, when you talk about the six-figure incomes that people are seeing from YouTube, it just goes to prove your point, that video is where it's at. It's happening, and content is king. I mean, we've all said that for years in the industry, but we're seeing more and more people, especially through the power of the Internet, what was once a niche market that could not be reached on a national or even global scale. Now an independent producer in a small town anywhere in the world can create an audience and a following and get their content out directly to that end viewer. And, one of the things that we at StreamVU like to do is empower. We think we're empowering our producers because it's their content, the quality of the content, how it's distributed, and best of all, how the revenue stream is shared. We don't take any part of that. We're just strictly data usage only. What's delivered is what your cost factors are. Everything that's out of your content that people have worked hard to create, so much creativity goes into it, that belongs to them.
Yeah, and that's the way to go, frankly. The content should belong to you, should be something that you can control, take down, charge for access to, kind of, on and on here when it comes to monetizing content, which is really, really so important. Now, let's talk a little bit about StreamVU here, the technology behind it. I know you guys have set this whole thing up to be as simple as can be. So let's say, in fact, when I was out at the Consumer Electronics Show, I talked, Brian, with a gentleman who told me all about StreamVU and said I need to be using StreamVU with the radio show. So how do you do it here? Kind of walk me through how it works.
It's really taking what was once time-consuming and complicating and creating technologies that are automated. We are completely integrated with our hardware device. We use the Marshall Electronics line of encoders. We chose that as our encoding device for two reasons. One, the quality is amazing. It just stands up against any encoder in the market. And two, it's very cost-effective. So you think about being able to come in at standard definition at $400 for producer station, a little under $1,000 for HD, and of course a broadcast version with the HD SDI inputs at $1,999. A few years ago, a standard definition encoder was $4,300, and we've just seen so many. It's like all technology; it starts high and continues to work down. But Marshall's ahead of the curve, so what we've done is completely integrated, Craig. And what that does for our producers is it's become a plug-and-play device. If you can power it up, log into your StreamView TV producer portal, title your broadcast, and then ultimately you're going to take what is an embed code that is automatically generated, and you place it directly on your website. You can put cost factors in for pay-per-view. We handle the transaction processing for you. And get this, Craig, nowhere in the video does it say StreamView at all. The brand is completely that of the producers.
Well, that's actually really, really good. So it's OEM'd, as we call it in the hardware business here, where it's completely private labeled.
Right.
We're speaking right now with Brian Arrowood. He is with StreamVU TV. You'll find them online at StreamVU.com. That's StreamVU as in VU.com. So I'm looking right now on the website. I have it up on my screen here. I have up the How It Works page, and it's showing the producer station, an internet connection, your program content. So it looks like bottom line here, there's a small device that you feed your audio and video into, and that's the device from Marshall that you guys are providing. It uses the internet now to send things up to the cloud to StreamVU, and all I have to do is what now? You mentioned I log in, so am I going to a special app on my computer? Am I going to a cloud service?
You're going to what's a cloud service because you're going into StreamViewTV.com. The StreamView.com website, you'll notice there on the top left on our landing page, you'll see a producer login. And once you've logged in, you're given a number of options. One is create a new channel. It can be upload new video for video on demand, or even do a private broadcast where you can limit access by an invitation-only email. Once you select the mode of distribution that you want this content to go, then you're off and going. From that point, you're going to select the producer station, which you alluded to earlier as being what's taking your audio-video input in from your camera or your source. We're going to encode it. You're going to set the bit rate that you want to broadcast at. So again, we don't make those decisions for our producers. There's not a good, better, best. You're actually setting in the exact bit rate that you want to go out at. So you can do a standard television definition or HD broadcast. And once you hit start on your producer station, we do a series of bandwidth calculations, and we're going to determine if you can, in fact, achieve that broadcast level. So if you were to try to go out at 4 megs, Craig, and there was only 1.5 megs available, StreamView system is going to recognize that. It's going to drop your bit rate down to 1.5 meg and deliver out the highest possible broadcast quality available. Now, that does two things for you. One, it ensures that you're going to have a great broadcast. You're not going to get that black circle of death or a lot of pixelation and packet loss throughout your broadcast. But two, it also ensures that our producers are only paying for actual data usage. So they're not paying for something that cannot be delivered.
Now, you have a number of different services. We've been primarily talking about some of the live services, but you've got the video on demand side of it as well. So do I produce the content the same way using the producer station here from StreamView and then upload it and take over control from there?
No, actually, well, there's two ways. One, if you're doing a live broadcast with us, you can archive it in the cloud and push it directly to video on demand, which is a great feature because you don't have to worry about your local storage device, and then it can move quickly to VOD. But primarily our video on demand service, Craig, is based on you uploading your existing content. So you may have something that you've created, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, anywhere, in fact. In time, that content is going to go through a transcoding process in StreamView, and then we're going to format that into an H.264 file so that it can be distributed on the internet efficiently.
Right, and I'm looking now, too, you can distribute it to all kinds of different devices that are out there. So people can watch it on their iOS devices like their iPad, iPhone, iPod Touch, Macs, PCs, laptops. So basically almost anything. It looks like Android is missing, and that's probably for good reason. That's a nightmare to try and support all the different Android types.
Well, we do go to smartphones, but you're right. When you talk about it, it can be difficult to support. Typically, we see that. I think some of the newer versions right now, there's some questions with Flash on that, but we're seeing more and more efficient ways to distribute content coming available, so you'll see that in the near future as well. Plus, we're also looking over the top and going to traditional set-top box kind of formats for play out on your television set.
Now, I'm looking at some market applications. We got a couple of minutes left here. On the website, you've got a number of them, everything from first responders and sporting events through just some personal things like weddings.
We do, and I'll share a story with you, Craig. You said we have a few minutes here. We've done a lot of broadcasts for customers over the years, and we've seen political events with 40,000 plus viewers, concerts with the same, motorsports broadcasting with NASCAR-affiliated race series. So some really high-profile events. Juice TV out of Jamaica is one of my favorite customers that we have because their content is always so rich in culture. But my favorite broadcast of all time went out to one viewer, and it was a high school graduation, and we had a mother who could not attend, and they hired a producer of ours who went out and broadcast that out, and she was in the hospital. So, you're not to pull on anyone's emotions, but that's really the power of the internet. You can, it's affordable to send out to one person. So I broadcast out to a woman that was in the middle of chemo to see her son's high school graduation. The cost factor on that for the producer was about 83 cents. And I you can't put a price tag on that for what it does for that family. And I'm really proud of that broadcast, because it's you talk about the different markets. It is such a wide range, and it can be a wide range because, again, one person views, you pay for one. If 10,000 view, you pay for 10,000. And that's the beauty of the internet. It gives people that otherwise would not have a means to get their content out there a measurable business model. But more importantly, it gives viewers the ability to find the content that they're looking for, to find the niche markets and, the things that they enjoy.
To find out more, go to StreamVU.com online. That's StreamVU, StreamVU.com. Brian Arrowood has been our guest. Brian, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Craig.
StreamVU lets you do live broadcasts, as we mentioned, upload maybe some content that you have, capture your live broadcasts, monetize it here. They'll do pretty much everything for you, frankly, even collecting the fees for monthly subscriptions, depending on what it is that you do. StreamVU.com. VU. No E.com. Stick around. We got more Tech Talk with Craig Peterson coming right up.